What's up, everybody? 5 years, huh? Hopefully everybody's been okay. Anybody that's even held on that long. All right, well, guess what we're going to do? That's right, custom plugin build. I'll do it again. And so everybody that said, where'd this guy go? I want him to build more plugins. Well, you got your dream. I'm back. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to build a new AI integrated plugin for 2025. It's going to start with something simple and fun, okay? And then we can dive deeper if once I make more video series about this. We'll build on the knowledge. But what I want to do is start really simple, and I want to create a ChatGPT integrated plugin for us to play fun, have some fun games with, and we can use it. There will be a lot of actual uses for it. We'll talk about that here in a second. All right, so let's follow this little chart I put together here. So we're going to do a new plugin for 2025. Now I'm saying 2025 because the videos to complete this is probably like a 20-ish video series to get to the end. And don't worry, it's all part of the plan. All right, so here's our setup. All the videos are going to be 10 minutes-ish, okay, because that's like a part of my core part of my channels. I try to keep everything under 10 minutes, and I usually fail, but I'll give it my best shot. And then we're going to use GPT integration for some fun stuff, and we're going to use a similar theme to 2020. No, I don't mean a WordPress theme. I mean we're going to use a similar theme style, which is there's no reason to build from scratch anymore, fellas, all right? Because the thing is, if you saw Google themselves said that 25% of their code is now AI written, which, are you shocked? I'm not shocked at all. In fact, I was actually shocked it wasn't more because AI is really good at writing code. And so anyway, so we're going to use boilerplate. Boilerplate was not AI written, by the way, and it used to be on, I actually used this in my 2020 guide as well, and we're going to do something similar now just for 2025, but don't worry, this one will be a little more in depth, but even for people who are new to plugin building, I'm going to keep this thing dead simple so that everybody can follow along, and it will give you the core you need to understand what you're doing. All right, so let's follow the line here, and let's figure out what we're going to build, all right? And here's what we're going to build. We're going to build, I'm just calling it like a multi-chat bot game for fun. I could have given it a way sicker name than that, but I just decided to give it that. So we have chatbot number 1 and chatbot number 2. Now, these are not chatbots that chat with you, all right? We're not building like a regular old chatbot that you see on websites. We're going to build something a little interesting, and here's what we're going to build. We're going to have 2 instances of GPT. They'll be ran with short codes and stuff. We're going to get into all that. Don't worry. And I'm going to, like I said, don't worry. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get ahead of yourself. Okay, I'll keep it real simple for us all. So we're going to have 2 instances of GPT that save their responses and name into a local WordPress database for our plugin. Okay, they can have a conversation between them back and forth with nearly no human interaction. Now, of course, you have to get the ball rolling. Okay, the perpetual motion doesn't begin without the human push, and in this case, that's us. And let me give you an example usage. Okay, so for example, we could create 2 bots with different names. One could be Steve and Alex. Yeah, I picked Minecraft names. And they could be different personalities, and we can pre-program it's the way it feels or thinks on a certain topic, any topic. They could debate whether Godzilla or Mothra wins in a fight, right? And so chatbot number 1 could be totally programmed. It's an AI totally programmed to love Mothra, right? It just loves Mothra. It just loves Mothra. It lives, breathes, and dies. It wears all Mothra gear. And then we have chatbot 2, right? And it loves Godzilla, right? It just oozes its love for Godzilla. It just loves Godzilla, right? Okay. And then what could happen is we could make them have hypothetical battles and debates over which one would win. Now, why would it be a case where we'd have 2 different bots? Okay, you may ask me that. Why wouldn't we just use one GPT and make it argue with itself? Well, here's the problem with that. GPT by default, each instance of a GPT can give you totally different results from the other one. I don't know how much any of you have used ChatGPT. I'm sure all of you, most people in the tech space have used it to some extent. Even if you haven't used it a lot, it's okay. You'll learn in this video. It's not hard to set up or anything, especially with the API. And so each instance, you can open a GPT instance and ask a question about something, and it will give you a totally different response as if you asked another instance of it. And so the cool thing is we can give them different personalities, which we'll be able to set up in our settings, by the way, and then we'll have them talk to each other and debate on the topic, okay? So here's the main thing. We're going to keep this thing dead simple, okay? I'm going to try my best to keep every aspect of this as simple as possible. There is one assumption I'm already making, though, and that is that you either have access to your own WordPress site or a place where you can upload your plugin, okay? I'm going to be using XAMPP, which is a local machine on Windows. I do have videos in my channel. They are older, but they still are exactly the same. for how to set up an XAMPP and get a WordPress going. And then you'll be able to get to the point where you just have a bare bones WordPress. It doesn't even matter what's on it or what theme it is, because we're just working with plugins anyway. So that's all that matters. It's just like a local deployment so that you don't have to go deploy it on the internet. So we're going to keep it dead simple, right? Like I said, it could sound complicated what we're doing right here, but I promise you we'll keep it real simple. So, all right. So here's the second part of this. All right, this sounds dumb and fun, which both of those things are cool, but what are you going to learn? Well, let's just go through and talk about that, all right? And I'm sure you love these little arrows moving, because I did too. So first, we're going to talk about setting up a plugin using WordPress plugin boilerplate. All right, that's what our next video is actually going to be about, is downloading WordPress plugin boilerplate, and once again, going through its files and understanding how and why it's built and what each thing does, okay? And it's really simple, the file structure and everything. And what it does basically is it outlines all your files that you need and your folders for a brand new WordPress plugin, so you don't have to build it from scratch. It's really, really cool. Everything's set up correctly. Everything's protected correctly. All the file structure is really great. It's really, really, really good starting point for a plugin. So there's no reason for us to have to go absolutely from scratch, but we can look at the files and understand what they're doing. Just because we didn't build it doesn't mean we shouldn't understand it. And then that way you could build it if you had to, but in this case, we're going to use plugin boilerplate, okay? Second, we're going to create a database for our plugin using DB Delta. Ooh. We're going to learn how to set up our own database side of WordPress that our plugin accesses to read and write from. So that will be kind of exciting. Then we're going to build a settings page for our plugin, because we're going to have some short codes. We're going to have a place where we need to put our API key for OpenAI for ChatGPT. We're going to want to set up a place for a couple of short codes. We may even want to set up a place, I'm not sure yet, where we're going to be able to write in the personalities of the bots. Like maybe we can change them on the fly or something. All right, and then we're going to speak to our database, write and retrieve it, meaning we're going to have, the way that the database is going to be set up actually is there's going to be a speaker column and a message column. And so like when Steve makes a message, it'll post them into the database with speaker Steve and his message. And then when instance 2 reads it, it will read from it and it will see what Steve said last, and then it will post its own response. And that's how they're going to talk back and forth. And you can make unlimited instances, by the way. I don't know if we're going to do that in this, but we'll at least have 2. Okay, creating and registering short codes, like I was just mentioning, we're going to do that as well. So you can output it on the website where you want. Integrating OpenAI calls into our WordPress plugin. Yep, we're going to integrate some API stuffs and see how that works. Configuring GPT personalities and setups. We just talked about that a little bit. Fetching, displaying messages. We just talked about that a little bit. Managing conversation history, validation, error handling. Very important in WordPress. We got to make sure everything is encapsulated so that it doesn't mess up our WordPress site and jump around and that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about the importance of validation and error handling. But like I said, all this is going to be 10-minute chunks, and it's not meant to waste your time, and it's meant to be free, fun, and that's a great price. So importing and exporting conversational histories. I kind of went over this. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this, but I thought, you know what? Why don't we do that just as an additional feature, because it will help you learn more about how to do that from a WordPress database. And then final deployment and maybe some more stuff. And in the more stuff, maybe we'll do like some additional styling, like enqueuing scripts or enqueuing CSS sheets for our plugin, or maybe letting the user change what each window looks like, or maybe some buttons, or I'm not really 100% sure yet. A lot of this stuff I kind of do on the fly, like last time I did my courses. A lot of stuff was kind of on the fly as I found new cool ways to change my plugin, and I'd be like, yeah, that's cool to show. That's probably what I'll do here too. And then our final deployment. So setting up our plugin, getting it out there, I don't know, maybe we'll even build a website for it and make it publicly downloadable or something. So you guys, even if you want to like start at the end and reverse engineer, maybe you can do that. I'll even set up a website for it, maybe. Just call it like GPT Talker or something. We'll figure that out together. It's not a big deal. Okay, and then squiggle on down. So where does this leave us today? Because we're already cruising on the 10-minute mark here. That's going to leave us in the next video, heading over to WordPress plugin boilerplate. Okay, that's in the next video. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to get it, where to get it. It changed. It used to be .io, now it's .me. I know, huge difference, right? Anyway, but we're going to do that, and then we're going to get our plugin going, and then the following videos we'll just start knocking out one thing at a time. We'll get our local server, we'll get it on our local site. We'll open up, probably I'm going to use Visual Studio Code because it's my favorite editor, but you could also do it in Notepad++. Visual Studio Code is what I'm going to use though. And we're just going to start moving and grooving on getting each thing done, all right? So, hey, it was good to see you after 5 years. Sorry I left you in the dark for so long. People who start YouTube channels tend to do that, and I was no exception to the rule. So anyway, and you know what, guys? Real homie, subscribe, okay? Be a real homie, please, if you didn't. And it gives me motivation to keep going because I'm going to do all this stuff for free, right? There's no courses to buy or nothing. I just want to have fun and share stuff. So anyway, all right, guys, that's it. We're about at the 10-minute mark. I hope that this is going to be exciting for you guys, and I hope that it's going to teach you a lot. That's the goal, so that you guys can branch out with your knowledge and do other things. And we'll also build other plugins together, too. Oh, quick side note before I'm done. I'm also going to be starting some video uploads for affiliate marketing. No, not promoting products and not promoting courses and all that kind of garbage. I'm talking about teaching affiliate marketing, like running paid traffic, setting up landing pages and trackers and that kind of stuff. Because I've done that for a long time, and I thought, you know what, these people probably like to see this stuff too, especially because it's all free. You know, there's not like any courses to buy or like, you know, things to. It's just like having fun running stuff together and looking at the results. So I'm also going to do some of that on this channel too. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next part where we talk about WordPress plugin boilerplate, and we'll move on from there. See ya.